Brother, thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate it. I know you're in Nashville, Tennessee. I got a lot of friends down there, so it's a fun town. But why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, about your current business, what you do, and then I'd like to go back to the beginning and kind of hear about how this all started.
Yeah, it's been an absolute journey. I've been in business for about 8 years, but pleasure to be on. Right now, we're running Aspect, which is the sign above me. But the gist of it is we're an email and SMS agency. We help direct to consumer and e-commerce brands basically add a lot more money to their email marketing system. So
Mm,
whether it's Klaviyo, OmniSend, SendLane, we basically manage the whole end-to-end process of from idea, strategy to um, design, copywriting, and actually getting it sent out and making our clients some money.
mm. So you're focused mostly on that like email side, and I know the SMS text side.
Yeah, not before,
Mm.
but now it's just email and SMS, and we can dive into that.
So talk to me about like email. What are the services that you're kind of doing for your clients within that? Email's a broad email and SMS or messaging is like a broad thing.
Yeah.
Um, what does that mean? Like, and also one other question is how did you decide on like this direct to consumer kind of business? Because there's other avenues ostensibly you could have went into.
Yeah, absolutely. When we were like back in 2019, 2020, when we were like, okay, cool, let's just do ecom, that's when I decided, like, well, we need to do e-commerce because everyone's going to e-commerce. And at that point, we only had case studies in the e-com space. So I'm like, well, it's just an easy transition. And we already know how to talk to brands. I already have like brands in the pipeline. So it's easier to follow up. So it was just a more natural transition rather than, okay, cool, let me do cold email for B2B SaaS or something,
Mm-hmm.
which I could have done, but then I wouldn't have really needed the design team anymore. Um, so I just stuck with it because it was natural. And as far as like what we actually do, we're a very white glove service. So on average, a client that signs up with us, they spend maybe 30 to 60 minutes a month actually like reviewing the designs and having a call with us and reviewing reports. Otherwise, we take care of the entire like the lot basically.
Mm-hmm.
So we would come up with a strategy every month on what we're going to be doing, whether it's working on the campaigns or the automations for the client. We would segment their list automatically on a monthly basis, depending on where their deliverability is at. We would focus on the deliverability side to make sure that every single email that we're working on is getting delivered to the inbox, is not going to spam, and is not going to promotions. Um,
Okay.
we would also focus on working through the actual copy. So, copywriting all of the emails for them to make sure that they're on brand, designing them so that they're on brand, and then setting them up within the email service provider and then scheduling it on their behalf. So, pretty much front to back, everything is taken care of. The client just needs to approve the design, catch up with us every other week to make sure that we're on top of our schedule and to make sure that we're aware of anything that's like whether they're doing like another product drop next month or if there's a sale coming up or if there's anything that we need to be aware of, that sort of thing.
Mm. So then ostensibly you're collecting the end customer purchase data. And that's
Yeah,
really what you're shooting for is you're shooting for purchases at the end of the day.
exactly. Yeah.
So like what kind of the KPIs are you looking for there? Like what are you trying to accomplish? You trying to get, 5% open rate, 1% purchase rate. Like what are the primary things that clients are going to be asking for but when you are putting these together for them?
Yeah, our standard open rate that we're looking for is anywhere between 40 to 70%, depending on the
That's
niche.
extremely high.
Yep. I mean, we do a good job on deliverability side. So I
I
don't mean
believe you. I believe you.
I don't mean to toot my own horn, but
And one of the things you said there is you're trying to avoid spam or promotions.
yeah.
So like my inbox, like I not only do I have a virtual assistant in there, like I have like all sorts of blocks on. So like what are the things that you're doing to avoid getting caught by the spam and promotions kind of tabs?
To avoid spam is relatively easy. To avoid promotions is a little bit more difficult.
Okay.
So when it comes down to the spam side, you have to make sure that you have all of your email records correctly set up. And I don't want to get super technical here, but essentially SPF, DKIM, DMARC records, these are all, it may sound like woo words from for some people, but essentially they're just verifications to make sure that number one, you own the domain that you have. So if it's like alexj.com, like to make sure that all emails from alexj.com are actually coming from you and not from someone that's phishing. It's phishing with
Okay.
a PH,
Yep.
not casting reels. Um, so making sure that it's coming from you, and all the other ones are just to verify that the network that you're sending from is correct. It's all just technical jargon to make sure that you're sending out the emails and that it's no one else impersonating you. So that's number one. That's something you have to do. You have to warm up your lists to make sure that you can't just start sending. Let's say if you have a list of 10,000 and you just started like a Klaviyo account, you can't just send to that 10,000 right away, because when Google sees that you're trying to deliver like 10,000 messages to someone at once, they think that you're trying to like get something or extort them, or it's a phishing email, because that's usually how people that are sending out phishing emails operate. They try to get as like it's a shotgun approach. They try to get as many people out and before they get blocked. So
Yeah.
Google blocks it before they even get the chance to do it.
By just throwing it into spam.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, this is interesting. I'm learning stuff. Now, what about like the text, the actual text that you're saying in that email? Is that more like going to go to the promotion side? Like, hey, buy, sell,
Yep.
free, those kind of words? Are those things that we're going to be worried about saying?
Yeah. Anytime you mention any sort of discount, any exclamation points, any all caps subject lines, those all tend to go into the promotions box. Any of the value-based emails, so if it's like, hey, top 10 hiking trails in America, if you're like a backpack or a ruck company, then they're more likely to be pushed to the main tab or like the inbox tab, because it's a value-based email.
It's like information essentially at that point in time, as opposed to a sale.
Exactly. Same thing with any emails that contain a ton of images. Those are more likely to lead into promotions, whereas if you have a text-only email, those go into the actual inbox.
Interesting, because I was saying when I was going to say, I looked through some of your like email designs. There's a lot of really beautiful images. Do you have to be cautious about like how much is in image and like what's said in those images? Because I know even Amazon, they can scan those images and catch the text. Like they know what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So with those emails that you can see like on our website under the case study section, they are a mix of image and a mix of actual text that is pre-built into like the Klaviyo builder. And that's super important, because if your entire email is images, then again, Google can't necessarily read through those images. They may, but that's a lot of processing data of doing millions of emails a second.
Right.
So they only know what's going to be on that image through the alt text. So similar to like how SEO works, you have alt text describing an image. So if it's like a picture of a mountain, you write picture of a mountain, then Google knows it's a picture of a mountain. If it's blank, Google has no idea what's being sent. It's just a blank image. And if it doesn't load on a person's computer, they just see blank. They don't even see like an alt text description. So it's important to have proper alt text set up on those images when you are sending out those emails, so that way Google can categorize your emails accordingly.
So you said the open rate between 40 and 70. What are you looking for like conversion rates for those people? I'm sure it varies. Like, you know, if you're running a 50% off sale, you're probably going to get a better conversion rate.
Yep.
But what's sort of the end goal? I'm sure that your goal, and this is what I understand from agency owners, marketing agencies and such, is like, my goal initially is to like cover for the cost of my services, right? Like if I can break even, then you'll keep going. If I can get you profitable, then you'll never stop, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Our goal for profitability, or at least like placed order rate, that's like the metric that we look for, is anywhere between 1% to 2% on average. That's a really, really good margin, especially when you have a list of 10,000 and your average order value is like 100, and 1% to 2% of those people buy. So like 100 times 100, that's 10,000.
Sounds right.
Yes. Like, I mean, that's a really good campaign. So like if we can shoot for 1% to 2%, depending on the average order value, like we're golden. Average brands that we audit before they work with us are doing anywhere between 10 to 15% of email revenue, as opposed to like their overall revenue. So if they're making $100K per month, it's about 10 to 15K per month that's coming in from email. And our goal is to double that. So get it to 25 to 30 and sometimes even 40%, depending on the niche. So, and that scales up as well. So if they're making 150 or 200 now, like if they're at 200, they're now supposed to be making 60 grand per month through email.
Mm.
So
So will you charge fees based on flat fee, or do you ever do like a performance-based fee? Do you ever just look at one and go like, "Ooh, I know what I can do with this. Like, I'm going to sink my teeth into this and like really be super profitable," or is it usually flat fee?
it's very much a flat fee. There's a bell curve to pricing, especially on the email side. And being in this for more than 3 years, almost 4 years now, it's funny how pricing works depending on how successful a brand is. Because if a brand is like struggling and they're doing like, and I'm not saying this is bad by any means, but it's just a customer demographic that we don't necessarily service. Like if they're doing 10K a month or 15K per month, overall revenue,
Yeah.
they're like, hey, we need your services. Would you be willing to do a percentage? You know, they would want to do a percentage if they're on the lower end.
Right.
Whereas on the higher end, they're like, oh, I'm glad you said retainer because we wouldn't have continued this conversation if you said profitability, because that eats into so much margin, especially at scale.
Yeah.
So we just stick to flat retainer based on scope. Everything is baked into that scope, so we just charge about $400 to $500 per email sent.
Okay. And what kind of products are you targeting? Is there like a certain niche, or I mean, because of course you said $100 order value. I mean, I assume that's quite important that the average order value is relatively high. Like if they're selling, like $20 trinkets, it's just going to be hard to like cover your costs there unless you can just sell so many. And how do you get to that big of an email list? I mean, what does that typically look like for you?
Yeah, so at this point, there hasn't been an e-com niche that I haven't worked with. There's maybe like a few edge cases, but the biggest ones like fashion, jewelry, CPG, skincare and makeup, automotive. We're working with like a dental retainer company.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yep. Medical devices. Like I don't know. We worked with all niches, and at this point, like if you're running an e-commerce brand, like we can help you.
Interesting. So talk to me about like their email list. Are you assuming that they come to you with a pre-built email list? Are they buying email like subscribers or buying emails? Are you creating the campaigns to acquire emails? Like how does that work for you?
Yeah, super interesting question. At the point where the businesses that we mainly work with, they're already very much established and they already have an existing email list. So they already have anywhere between 10 to 50 like thousand subscribers. So they already have an existing list. They are just not monetizing it properly. One thing I would say is don't ever buy an email list if you're an ecom brand, because that's like the easiest way to tarnish your brand's domain reputation and get you into spam.
I was going to ask, if it like somehow tags you in a spam. Is there ever a way to do it where I can buy an email list and I can email 100 people at a time and slowly like build up the credibility, or not really?
Not really, because they're unsolicited emails. No one. It's like, for example, like if you're Nike.com and you've never bought from Nike, you've never heard of Nike.com, just in a weird scenario, and Nike.com is now selling you shoes and shirts and basketballs and soccer balls, whatever. You're like, what is going on? Like, why am I getting emails from this? You're gonna hit report spam, and enough of that happens, and it doesn't have to be a lot of people. It could be 5 out of 100 people, and you're gone.
So what will happen there? Like Klaviyo will block Google will block your email address.
Yep.
They won't let you send it.
Yeah, Google will start blocking your domain from going into the list that you've had before inbox.
So
We've
it'll
had
just
that happen.
It'll just you send it and Google pings back, hey, like this email is either blocked or spam. Like, do you get notified of that? Like, if I go in and I mark someone spam and blocked, like, is there a way they're going to get notified of that somehow?
Yeah, they do say reported spam. Like if your reported spam rate is too high, then Google automatically just throws you into spam. Like for the rest of the list. And it is quite evident. So going back to those open rates, if we're at like 40 to 70% open rates, the next send you do is like in the teens, if not less than that. It's
So
like 8% open rate. And then you're like, okay, cool, let's take a look at what happened. And you can see the breakdown of open rates by email service provider. So you have Google, Yahoo, Outlook, Apple,
oh, interesting.
Verizon, etc. Yep. And you can see like 70,000 emails delivered to Google, 2% open rate.
Yeah, so it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. What about like email? Oh, so back to the subscribers. Like, so how are most of these brands acquiring the subscribers? Previous purchases through their website,
Yep.
campaigns where they've ran and got subscribers, or like what does that look like?
Yeah, there's a few main ways. So number one is purchase orders, checkouts that have been abandoned. So if someone's like in the middle of typing like their order and something happens, they get distracted, they don't finish the order, that email still gets collected.
Mm.
Pop-ups, so all those annoying pop-ups that you see on the website, those do very well. Those are like our biggest way of getting subscribers, if they're set up correctly. Giveaways or any cross promotion with other brands, Facebook lead forms. But I would say pop-ups are like our biggest driver for getting email subscribers, because you already have traffic from Google, Meta, organic SEO coming in, and that's the first thing they see. Not usually, as long as it's timed correctly. They would see that pop up, submit their email for the code, get the code as the first email, and now they're already in the system.
So you said to do it the right way. What's the right way look like? What's the wrong way look like for that?
A lot of brands think that you need to have all your information in one page. So, for example, if a pop up comes up on the website, it's like, I need your name, email, phone number, when were you born, what's your mom's maiden name? Maybe not that far, but email,
Social security number,
yeah,
please. Yeah.
yeah. The back three digits on your credit card. So just email and phone number is usually the main things that people collect. And when a person sees, just on average, that they have to do more than one action, it's overwhelming, and it's immediate, like, I need to get out of here. So they back out of the pop-up and do their own thing.
X close. Yeah. Don't need your 10% off. Forget it.
Exactly. So we do a couple things. Number one, we don't give out the discount code right away, as in we don't offer the customer or the person that's on the website doesn't know what the actual offer is. We call it a mystery offer or a surprise offer, or your special offer. So it's like, oh, what is it? So it drives curiosity. That's number one. Number two, we only ask for one thing at a time. So we ask for the email first, because that's like the main thing. We can't really do any communication without the email. So it's like, sign up or put your email in for your special offer or for your mystery offer. And then on the next step, we ask for the SMS. So we don't ask for all the information on one. We make it in a multi-step pop-up. And then it's like, hey,
So
join
even
the
if
SMS
they
club.
even if they abandon, you've still got the email.
Exactly.
Clever. I like it.
Yep. And then at the end, whatever, like at the end, once they submit their email and phone number, it's like, hey, you got a 10% off discount code. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, that's at least like, because if someone comes onto the website and they're like, oh, it's another 10% off code, like that's barely covering taxes,
Yeah.
you know? And it's like, I don't even care anymore. Like, I'm not going to put my email in for a 10% off coupon code. It doesn't really matter. But if it's like hidden, or if it's not even hidden, but it's more of like a surprise or a mystery, drives curiosity, then they're more likely to submit. And now they're on our list and will forever get emails from us.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So talk to me about like email frequency. This feels like this would be an enormous point of discussion in this world, is how frequently should I be emailing my customers?
Actually, it's funny you mentioned that, because I wrote like a whole long, sarcastic LinkedIn post on this morning. It's going out next week. I batch all my LinkedIn stuff.
All right.
I would say anywhere between 1 to 2 times a week, depending on your list size. Like if you have a list of like 500 people, like once a week is fine. Maybe once every other 2 weeks. If you have a list of like 5 to 10,000, that's when I can do like one week to the next week and interchange.
Will you segment? Is that what you'll do? Or will you just hit everybody at once still?
I would hit everybody at once depending on the message. So if it's like a big sale, like I don't want people that bought something yesterday to know about the sale. So like I'll segment those people out.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. But I would say a good rule of thumb is just one a week at least. And then 1 to 2, and then 2 a week once you have like a list over 10 to 15,000 people.
Why the higher number of emails with the higher number of subscribers? Just because you'll cancel more people out?
Yeah, exactly. Like you'll be able to cancel more people out, and you can do more segmentation. So, for example, if someone's buying toothbrushes on your website, then you can make a message specifically for people that buy toothbrushes versus the people that buy toothpaste, and then you can make a special message for them.
Yeah, or if you sell male versus female kind of things, you could do 2 emails, one for gals, one for guys per week.
Exactly.
I got it. So what do you see happen if you're emailing too frequently or not frequently enough?
Infrequently, you're just missing on revenue because like every time you send an email, people are going to buy. It's just, depends on what you're selling. If you're selling like a $2,000 product, maybe not because the AOV is so high and the buy-in is so high. But if you're selling anything basic, like even if it's like one of these like arm exerciser things, like it's like $20, like someone's gonna buy it. So like you're just missing out on revenue, and it's so cheap to send out an email compared to like if you were to reach 10,000 people on Facebook, that's at least like $100 depending on the niche and the CPM. Versus with email, you already have their email, you're already paying for your email service provider on a monthly basis, so why not?
Yeah.
But I already forgot the
Too frequent. Too frequent
could lead to getting into spam because people are just like annoyed with your emails.
And that's mostly going to be people tagging it to spam, or is there like a interval frequency? Like if you get like an email every 48 hours from some brand, could Google automatically push that to spam?
Yes and no. It depends on the behavior. It's almost like a hive mind, like your list. It's a weird hive mind because if so many people get so many emails from you, it's just there's no more pattern disrupt. And they're like, oh, it's another email from Alex. Oh, it's another email from Alex. So I'm just not going to open it because it's like I opened the last one, so I don't really care. And then like you're constantly getting bombarded by these emails from Alex. And then so much of it happens that if so many people don't open up your email, then Google is going to see like, oh, no one's opening up these emails. Your open rates are low. Then it'll lead to spam.
Again, spam or promotions tab potentially.
Exactly. Yeah. Coupled with people reporting spam or unsubscribing. If your unsubscribe rates are too high, that means you're messaging them too frequently or the message is not relevant enough. So Google also looks at that as well.
Now, are you pretty much always doing some amount of selling in those emails, or is a lot of it, you talked about information? Are you trying to push the information, like, or, maybe, hey, look at this video of this thing that we did or whatever? Like, is that a big part of it too, that'll allow you to increase the open rate and also kind of like, because it sounds like you're in this weird dance with Google. It really sounds like and the other providers, and I don't know what percentage of people are Google versus Yahoo. I mean, my mom,
at least
I think
80%.
All right. Well, yeah. So, and probably a lot of your purchasers, because I don't want to be rude to people that have Yahoo, but they might like end up being older and be like, I don't buy things on the internet.
You have the AOL emailers just tuning out from this because I can't take it. This isn't relatable.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, it is a weird dance with Google. I'd rather take this dance than the one with Facebook. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, it just honestly comes down to the right messaging. So we do have a mix in between actual actual value that we provide, and then sometimes at the end of the email, like absolute bottom of the email, we have like a promo. So if we are doing value driven, we have to have at least some sort of a promo at the bottom because that will still drive sales. But even then, if it's not sales focused and it's just like a small product placement, it'll still do really well based on the value, because they would then like, it doesn't even matter if you're selling on that email because that's just another impression on the customer. So it's like another email from you or like another email from Nike. It's just like, oh, Nike, yeah, I do need new shoes. I should probably stop by the Nike store or something along those lines. Like it's just an extra impression and an extra hit, and that will lead to the sale. Maybe it's not as direct, but it still does lead to the sale.
Yeah, and I don't want to say most people, but if you read this whole email, you're probably just going to be like, click, I'll go visit the site. I'll just see what's going on the site. Like I do that for brands that I like. I'll like look at their email and maybe there's nothing even happening, and then I'll just click and poke over to their site and be like, oh, do I need anything? Like, do I want anything?
Yeah.
I do that pretty often.
Yeah. And even if marketers do that, normal people are doing it.
Yeah, for sure.